There is a version of you that your current life has never met. Not because that version does not exist, but because you keep returning to the person you learned to be. The careful one, the tired one, the one who expects things to be difficult, the one who begins with hope and then slowly lowers their expectations, the one who says, maybe later, maybe when I have more money, maybe when I feel ready, maybe when I am more confident, maybe when life becomes easier. You may believe you are waiting for the right moment, but what if the right moment has been waiting for a different version of you? A version that does not ask fear for permission. A version that no longer believes suffering is proof of worth. A version that stops turning every obstacle into a reason to remain the same. Perhaps you have tried to change before. You created plans, set goals, made promises. For a few days, you felt different. You woke up earlier, worked harder, thought more positively. Then something happened. You became tired. You felt discouraged. A person questioned you. A result took longer than expected. And slowly you returned. Not only to the old habits, to the old identity. This is why change can feel so frustrating. You think the problem is discipline, motivation, time, opportunity. But sometimes the real problem is that your old identity keeps rebuilding the life it already knows. Stay with me until the end, because I am going to guide you through a simple identity shift practice. It will help you recognize the version of yourself you keep returning to, identify the role suffering has played in your life, and choose one action that begins proving a new identity immediately, not someday, not when you feel completely ready. Now, before your life can change quickly, something inside you must become unavailable for the old pattern. Not temporarily tired of it, unavailable. There is a difference. You can be tired of a situation and still be emotionally loyal to it. You can hate a job and still believe it is the only place where you are safe. You can dislike your routine and still be afraid of what a new life would require. You can say you want love while remaining attached to the identity of the person who is always abandoned. You can say you want success while secretly believing struggle is what makes you deserving. This is the hidden conflict. One part of you wants to rise, another part wants to remain familiar, and familiarity is powerful, even when it hurts. You know how to survive the old life. You know what it expects from you. You know how to complain about it, how to endure it, how to explain why it cannot change. The new life has no script. It asks you to become visible, to make decisions, to take responsibility, to stop waiting for someone else to create movement. This is why people often return to pain, not because pain feels good, because pain feels known. There is an old story about a group of people leaving a place of suffering. For years, they had wanted freedom. They dreamed about it, prayed for it, spoke about it. Then freedom came. But freedom did not immediately feel comfortable. It led them into uncertainty. There was no familiar structure, no predictable routine, no clear map. And after some time, part of them wanted to return to the place they had once begged to escape. This story has been repeated in human lives for centuries. You may leave a painful relationship and miss it. You may leave an exhausting job and feel guilty. You may begin creating a better life and suddenly sabotage yourself. You may finally receive an opportunity and become afraid of being seen. The old situation was painful, but it told you who to be. The new life asks you to discover who you are. That discovery can feel more frightening than the pain you already understand. Perhaps you have called this self-sabotage, but look deeper. It may be an old identity trying to survive. The identity that believes good things do not last. The identity that believes rest is laziness. The identity that believes money only comes through suffering. The identity that believes love must hurt. The identity that believes confidence belongs to other people. The identity that believes visibility is dangerous. Every identity creates a world around itself, not magically, through repetition. What you believe about yourself influences what you attempt, what you tolerate, what you reject, what you notice, how long you continue, how quickly you stop. The person who believes they are unlucky will interpret delays differently from the person who believes they can adapt. The person who believes they are unlovable will behave differently in relationships from the person who knows their worth. The person who believes success requires exhaustion will continue choosing paths that confirm exhaustion. The identity searches for proof of itself, and most of the time, it finds it. You may say, "This is simply how life is." But is it? Or is this how life has been through the identity you have been repeating? You are not only living inside circumstances, you are living inside meanings. You experience an event, then your identity tells you what that event means. Someone does not respond. One identity says, "They are busy." Another says, "I am being rejected." A plan fails. One identity says, "I need a new approach." Another says, "I always ruin everything." You rest. One identity says, "I am restoring my energy." Another says, "I am wasting time." The event is only part of the experience. The identity completes the story, and that story influences what happens next. This is why you can change your environment and still feel trapped. You bring the same interpretation with you, the same expectations, the same emotional reflexes, the same inner voice. A new city cannot free you from an identity you carry everywhere. A new relationship cannot heal a self-concept built around abandonment. A new opportunity cannot remain open if you still believe you are not ready to receive it. The transformation must reach the level of identity. Not only what you do, who you believe is doing it. There is a phrase many people repeat: "I want to become the best version of myself." But perhaps the deeper invitation is not to become better. It is to become more true, the version of you beneath the conditioning, beneath the fear, beneath the roles, beneath everything you learned to perform in order to be accepted. You may have learned to be quiet because your honesty made people uncomfortable. You may have learned to be useful because usefulness was the easiest way to receive love. You may have learned to work constantly because achievement earned approval. You may have learned to expect disappointment because hope once felt dangerous. These patterns were not random. They protected you. But protection can become a prison after the danger has passed. The role that once helped you survive may now be the exact role preventing you from expanding. Perhaps you became the strong one, the one who never asks for help, the one who solves everything, the one who continues even when exhausted. People admire your strength, but no one sees the loneliness inside it. Perhaps you became the peaceful one, the one who avoids conflict, the one who keeps everyone comfortable, the one who never says what hurts. People call you easy to be around, but your peace is built on self-silencing. Perhaps you became the dreamer who never begins. You imagine possibilities, learn, prepare, research, but you keep the dream protected from reality by never taking the first visible step. Because as long as it remains a dream, it cannot fail. These identities may appear different, but they share something. They keep you familiar. They keep you inside the world you already know. Rapid transformation begins when familiarity is no longer more important than truth. When you become more willing to disappoint the old identity than to disappoint your future. This does not mean rejecting everything about who you were. The old version carried you here. It deserves compassion, but it cannot lead you somewhere it has never been willing to go. You must become able to say, "Thank you for protecting me," but you are not making the next decision. This is where desire becomes important. Not weak desire, not a passing wish, a deeper willingness. A willingness strong enough to make comfort less attractive, strong enough to make excuses less convincing, strong enough to make the old life feel too small. You may call it purpose, vision, fire, a calling. It is the part of you that knows there is more. Not more in the sense of constantly needing more achievements, more truth, more freedom, more of your real voice, more of your capacity, more of the life that has been waiting beneath your fear. Without this inner willingness, change becomes a list of obligations. Wake up earlier, work harder, exercise more, read more, do more. And eventually, you become exhausted. But when a real desire awakens, action begins to feel different. You do not act only because you should. You act because remaining the same has become unbearable. You stop asking, "How can I motivate myself?" You begin asking, "What am I no longer willing to tolerate?" This question reveals a threshold. Maybe you are no longer willing to tolerate speaking against yourself, no longer willing to remain invisible, no longer willing to spend another year preparing without beginning, no longer willing to accept relationships built on confusion, no longer willing to call exhaustion success, no longer willing to use your past as a permanent identity. A person changes quickly when the old pattern loses emotional permission. This is why some transformations seem sudden. From the outside, it looks like someone changed overnight. But inside, something had been building. 1,000 small disappointments, 1,000 moments of self-betrayal, 1,000 times they knew what to do and did not do it. Then one day, the inner permission ended. They decided. And because the decision reached identity, their actions changed rapidly. You may be closer to this moment than you think. Perhaps you are not lazy. You are tired of acting from an identity that does not feel true. Perhaps you are not lost. You are between versions of yourself. The old one no longer fits. The new one is not yet familiar. This space can feel empty, confusing, unstable. You may believe nothing is happening, but this is often where transformation begins. The old identity is losing strength. The new identity needs evidence. And evidence comes through action, not enormous action, consistent action. A new identity cannot survive only through imagination. It needs lived proof. If you want to become someone who trusts themselves, keep one promise. If you want to become someone visible, share one piece of your work. If you want to become someone with boundaries, say one honest no. If you want to become someone financially responsible, look directly at the numbers. If you want to become someone confident, take one action while still feeling uncertain. The action becomes evidence. The evidence becomes memory. The memory becomes identity. This is how change accelerates. Not because you wait until you feel like the new person, because you act in a way the old identity cannot fully explain. Every time you do this, the old story weakens. You say, "I never finish anything." Then you finish one thing. The sentence is no longer completely true. You say, "I am afraid to speak." Then you speak once. The identity has been interrupted. You say, "I always return." Then you choose not to return one time. A new possibility enters. The mind needs these contradictions, small experiences that prove the old identity is incomplete. You do not need to destroy the old version through force. You need to outgrow it through evidence. There is a famous story about a young man standing before a giant. Everyone around him saw the same thing: an impossible opponent, a threat too large, a problem that required more strength, more equipment, and more experience. The young man saw something different. He did not deny the giant. He changed his position in relation to it. The giant was large, but the young man refused to become small inside himself. This is the deeper meaning of psychological size. A problem may be real, but the moment you decide it is greater than your capacity to respond, you shrink beneath it. A bill becomes a monster. A conversation becomes impossible. A rejection becomes a prophecy. A mistake becomes an identity. The external problem grows because internally you keep becoming smaller. You do not overcome every giant through force. Sometimes you overcome it by refusing to worship its size. You look at the obstacle and say, "You are a circumstance. You are not my identity. You are difficult. You are not final. You require action. You do not require self-abandonment." This changes your psychological position. You rise, and when you rise, options become visible. The story of the giant is not about pretending problems do not exist. It is about remembering that your perception of the problem determines the part of you that appears to meet it. If you see yourself as powerless, you respond with avoidance. If you see yourself as capable of learning, you search for a strategy. If you see yourself as defeated, you stop before beginning. If you see yourself as becoming, you allow the challenge to train you. Perhaps your greatest obstacle is not outside you. Perhaps it is the version of you who keeps describing every challenge as proof that you cannot change. You may have been loyal to suffering without realizing it. You repeat how difficult everything is, how exhausting life is, how money is hard, how people cannot be trusted, how nothing changes. These statements may feel honest, but repetition turns descriptions into identities. You stop saying, "This is difficult." You begin saying, "My life is difficult."